أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. Okay, again we are here by God's grace, and we are honored and privileged to have this occasion that we are in contact with our Creator, and He's watching over us, and we are in a position to better ourselves and get closer to our Creator, and that is the goal that we should have. And accordingly, what He does, He illuminates our minds and our hearts and teaches us new things, and He's the only one that teaches man what he does not know. And so we have to be cognizant of this fact and make sure that we are grateful to the source of all of these blessings that we have. And these are not by accident. This is by divine design and providence that today we are here, and we are given this chance, this opportunity, this unique opportunity actually, that God has bestowed upon us this favor and this blessing that we have today. And so He has given us another chance that other people may not have it. And so we are indebted to Him, and we are grateful to the source of all of the blessings that we have. And again, gratefulness is a godlike quality, is something that God is always grateful to us for what we do. For every good deed that we do, God is grateful to us. And so we have to respond in kind and make sure that we understand it, and we are in a position to be grateful to Him. And so it's a unique opportunity, again, as I said. Okay, today what I wanted to discuss with you, again, this is that time of the year, and we are, God is telling us in the Quran that in chapter 19, okay, and we have seen all of the signs that is based on the number 19, and so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go there and show you. And then we'll explain how the literal Quranic text is actually embedded in these numbers that we are talking about. Okay, and this is a manifestation of the greatest sign that God has given us. And so let me go ahead and find this, and we'll go ahead and there it is. Okay, so okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime. A Gaussian Mersenne Prime is a complex number, okay, and this complex number is 1 plus I or 1 minus I. I is the square root of -1, and so when you raise it to some power which is a prime number, you're going to get a number which is, if you multiply by its own complex conjugate, you're going to get a prime number again. So these are called Gaussian Mersenne Prime, and these are the byproduct of the mathematical number theory of this century, of this millennium. So we could not explain this last century. Okay, so this is something that we have to remember. So the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime is actually 353, and so we have dealt with this for a while. And 353 is the sum of the frequency of Hab plus Mim, which are the initials in chapter 42. Okay, and now you see these numbers are developing by themselves. You see, like look at this. This is the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime, which is 359. So 19 is right there. And then the next number which comes up is 42. Okay? I did not put it on these bullets here. Okay, which is, by the way, this is on the website, so you don't have to write anything down. Okay? Just please listen, and if you want to look at it, it's on the website already. I put it there. There are two numbers here, 19 and 42, okay? And if you multiply these two numbers, you're going to get 798, okay? Now, 798 is the frequency of the initials in chapter 19 in the Quran, okay? And some people say, well, this is just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Why is it chapter 19? Why is it in chapter 35? So there is a deliberate thing in there, embedded in there, in this mathematics, which was unknown to us 20 years ago, okay? But it generates actually how many of those 5 letters in chapter 19, okay? By the way, those of you who do not know, chapter 19 is called Maryam, or Mary, okay, was Jesus' mother. So anyway, so 42 times 19 is actually 798. So way back when we were studying these things, we were counting those things from the text of the Quran. We don't have to do that anymore because we are generating those, okay? So look at the composite index relation of 353. 353 composite is 438. 438 composite is 538, but 538's non-Chen prime is 9127, okay? So directly 353 generates chapter 9 having 127 verses, okay? And as we see, this is very important because what's going to happen is that, I'm going to scroll down and you can see it. Now, 538 lonely Gaussian prime is 13399. And 13399 actually happens to be the 114th Ulam Prime. 114 is the number of chapters in the Quran. Okay? So can you imagine that? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullets here, and I already linked the Quran to 353, which is the number of initials in chapter 42. And if you read those chapters very carefully, he said these are the proofs of this world, of this book. Hamim, those initials in there are the proofs of this book. Okay? And we see how the proof actually works. So, now, this 13399 actually happens with twin prime. It's half of a twin prime. Its twin is 13397. Okay? And now, recently I have actually noticed that for everything in the world, this is an old idea. This is not my idea, okay? This goes back to the time of Pythagoras, okay, or Pythagoras, okay? And it goes way back then, and him and his followers, they believe that everything is based on numbers. And if you read chapter 72, verse 28, he says, and then he assigned a number to everything. That's what God says. The last verse says that. And he assigned a number to everything. So everything has a number. Okay? Sometimes I show my experiments, not my experiments, my talk on my physics thing, okay? And you see that in 1987, we observed a supernova, which was actually happened in the Large Magellanic Cloud, which is 170,000 light years away from us. So the actual supernova happened 170,000 years ago. We just saw the neutrinos, 20 of them, in 1987. And those 20 neutrinos, they have a number. Each one of them has a number. Each one of them has a different energy. It has a different place that it actually interacts inside the detector. So it has an XYZ position. So it has a specific number assigned to it. And out of those 10 to the 60 neutrinos that are produced in that supernova, some are still going. We don't know where they are. But their time is not up. They're not supposed to interact yet. And a lot of them interact inside the Earth, inside the Sun, inside the Moon, that we have no clue where they are or how long they lived. But every one of them has a position and a time. Okay? And so here, as you see here, these two are twin primes. 13399 and 13397, they're twin primes. But guess what? The 538th lonely Gaussian composite is 13397. And when I looked at it, I said, oh my God, they both have the index 538. They shouldn't have it, okay? But anyway, well, but they have it. But that's what the deliberate attempt that I'm talking about, okay? So here, let me go here and 13397 happens to be also harmonic prime and is 570th harmonic prime. But 570 is the sum of the frequency of Aleph plus Lam plus Mim in Surah 32, which is called prostration. Okay? But 570th Gaussian prime happens to be again 9127. So God keeps insisting that chapter 9 is supposed to have 127 verses. For people who do not know about this, if you go to a bookstore or something and try to buy a Quran, okay, and when you open up the Quran in print, chapter 9 has 129 verses. This tells you that the 2 verses added to it, so it's 9127, not 9128, not 1 or 29. Okay. Now, guess what happens after that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. 13397 actually happens to be a Gaussian composite and happens to be 786 Gaussian composite. But you know what 786 is? Is the numerical value of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is the opening statement of the Quran. In the old days when people didn't want to write the name of God on a letter, they just put 786. Because you get rid of it and you may insult God by throwing a letter away or something, and so they didn't put the word Allah in there, which is the name of God. But they put 786, but there it is. So again, what we did is we actually generated 786, which is the numerical value of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the All-Gracious, the All Merciful. Okay? So now you see this, okay? You see how important it is, okay, for us to abide by these verses, by these ayahs, by these signs that God has revealed. Okay? Because they have a foundation. And this foundation actually tells us about the structure of this book. How this is designed, how it's generated. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go to an archaeology school or something like that and go dig some tablet out and say, oh yeah, this was the original, with no proof. This proof is verifiable. If you want to verify it, you can take a look at it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have actually 2 sections of this. So I'm going to stop here, and then we'll see how this whole thing falls into place. And then again, this time is that I encourage people to go and read chapter 19. Okay? This is that time of the year. And this time of the year is that there was a birth that happened 2,000 years ago plus, okay, 2023 years ago, okay, that happened. And this birth was a sign to the mankind. That's what God says. Okay? And so calling Mary, who's Jesus' mother, names, and calling Jesus names is not going to make a group of people to succeed. God is taking this very seriously. If he sees that his messengers are rejected, his prophets are rejected, his scriptures are rejected by a group of people, that group of people will never see peace in their lives. Okay? And so we have seen this, how those numbers are generated in there. So it gives gravitas to the entire chapter. Okay? As I said, at the time when Muhammad came, there were 2 groups of people. Okay? There were so-called people of the scriptures. Then one of them was the Christian and the other one was the Jews. One of them said that Mary was a whore, and his son was her son was a bastard. The other one, they said that no, Jesus was Son of God. And then all of a sudden, this other guy comes in, that Muhammad comes in. No, you're both wrong. Okay, it was a sign from God that Mary got pregnant. Okay, and so we have to accept that. Those people, the people who were believers, they said we hear and we obey. They didn't want any reason or any proof or anything, but we have the proof today. And then the other guys, they say, you are wrong. It wasn't. Because God does not take a son. It's below God's dignity to do that. This is not the old idea of the Zeus and all of the stories that we read about the Greek mythology. It's not that. This is not that God. This is God, who is the creator of all things. Okay? So we have all of that reasoning right in front of us. Okay? So I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this unit. Allahu Akbar.